Hey, what's going on, everyone? You are now listening to Resilience in Action with Erin Brown.
What's up?
Dude,
What's up?
Deuce.
What's
Yo,
up?
first and foremost, thank you for being here. We really
Thank you.
appreciate you. I appreciate you for, taking a little bit of your time to spend with us here at Resilience in Action. Um,
Uh-huh.
Deuce, like, give us your bio. Like, where are you from? Like, what do you do? Tell us a
All
little bit.
right. I got you. So I'm from Chester, Pennsylvania, like 10 minutes just outside of Philly. So I grew up there. Um and like it's not the safest place in the world. So as I was getting older, I was starting to get into like more and more trouble. So my mom's had moved me with my pops like around like third, fourth grade. We moved to Delaware, and then from there, like everything was kind of cool. And then and I'm always like be appreciative for everything that happened when I was younger. Cause just man, like life is wild. Life is wild. So like as I started to get older, like, I needed to start taking the right paths and like just the universe put the right people in front of me as like I got older. And like I'm just always excited and like happy and thankful and grateful for like everything that just be happening in my life. But so growing up in Chester, then moving with my pops to Delaware, and then like I really got like I went from having four siblings, five siblings, to moving and just being the only child. So then I got to like really just be by myself and like really like think like who I was, not in relation to like my older brothers or my sister or my younger brother. You know what I mean? So I got to like really like learn myself and like it, still an ongoing process, but like I'm definitely honing in on like taking the steps to get like to grow and like um always like working on mindset stuff and like always like again working toward the goals and like not focused on the BS that happened in life. Um so being in Delaware just allowed me a lot of time to just like be in a good environment and to learn, play sports, like live as a kid, not like as like, weary of the streets, being outside. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So Delaware like did a lot for me. Played a lot of sports there. Played football, ran track. And then got in the eighth grade, started running track, and like I took off from there. I really fell in love with the sport. Again, great coaches in high school that like helped me and like really like molded me honestly into like a competitor, like a true fucking athletic competitor.
Yeah.
Um, I lived in Smyrna, and that's like smack dab in the middle of Delaware. And I had a woman coach, female coach, and it's like she was no nonsense, no nonsense, like working hard, no complaining. And then that ended up taking me into fighting at Rouge, which like is still same thing, work hard, no complaining, like be grateful. So like again, it's constantly people like walking into my life and like having positive effects and like that it's like an ongoing thing and like I'm always going to be grateful and like say thank you to Coach Schaefer, who my track coach in high school, Coach Mark, who was my jumper coach, and like he was like another guy that like just pushed me. He was like, yo, like I know you can be something, like you got to work, you gotta work, and putting that in my head. And then like me like, all right, let's get it, let's do it. Like people like having seeing something in me that I maybe didn't see in myself, or like um I don't know, man. I've always had those people. Even my mom's like since I was probably not even born, telling me like you're amazing, you're great, like you're gonna be amazing, you're gonna be great, everything's gonna be all right, don't worry about it, like keep pushing forward. And like that's something she still says to me today. Like
Yeah.
same she was telling me when I was 4 or 5, like telling me the same stuff today. And like I just keep those mantras in my head, like, hey, everything gonna be all right. Keep pushing. Like when something fucking life smack you, it's like, hey, it's cool. Tomorrow, another day, another step. You know what I mean? Like so it's I don't know, man. Again, I'm grateful. I'm
Yeah.
grateful.
Well, good. Being grateful is one of the paramount parts in life in general. Just waking up with a grateful heart.
Yeah.
So being grateful, don't shy away from how grateful you are. Like
Yeah.
like
And
lean
like
in, lean into that.
Yeah, and honestly, it's like something that I'm more learning now, and like as I'm getting older. Um, like you don't really understand like being grateful. Like, oh, I used to say thanks all the time. Like I really like I used to say I appreciate that all the time. But like I wasn't like meaning it. I wasn't like, yo, like thank you, like thank you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
really like telling somebody I appreciate you for doing what you're doing. You know, and like yeah, the words, but like really feeling it,
Like
understanding
really, like
why.
putting the meaning behind those words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then like now even like trying to return that favor. So like say my coach do something nice for me, like I'll buy him something. You know what I mean? Like say we just go into like we go into fights and like we stop at a gas station. I'll buy everything he gets to. You know what I mean? He fucking trains me 6-7 days a week. Like the least I can do is buy him a couple drinks, some snacks, a beer, like so a dinner. That's the least I can do.
Absolutely. So you said you're a trainer, right? You're a fighter.
Yeah.
I know this, right? I know this to be true, but our
Uh,
listeners do not. So let's go there. Duce,
uh,
like go what do you do? What do you tell the people what
Yeah,
you do?
I'm a kickboxer and a kickboxing coach, Muay Thai, not just kickboxer, Muay Thai. So the art of 8 limbs using hands, feet, elbows, knees, clench, grappling. Uh, yeah, and I'm a pretty fucking good fighter too. Can I curse? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're no Kurt, like
All right,
no, you we
but
already in
yeah,
it.
I'm a
We
I'm
in
a, I'm
it.
a pretty good fighter. I'm damn good, and I'm working to be better every day. Like one day I'm gonna be one of the best to ever walk the earth. Like genuinely,
And
genuinely.
and if for y'all that don't know, like go all you have to do is Google Duece Almighty Carter, and you'll see one of his most explosive fights that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. I ain't going to give too much, but
Uh,
when he says that he's going to be the best, he believes that to be true, and that's how it's going to happen. That's
for
how
sure.
it's going to happen. And yeah, so Duece, how long have you been fighting?
Since 2019, so like 3 years. January 2019. So damn, going along with like my story. So in high school, like I ran track and like I ended up going to college and running track. And in college, I met one of my good friends, Tyler Boo Boo. He's actually a coach with me.
Coach Boo Boo.
Yeah, Coach Boo Boo. I met him in my freshman year in college. We ran track together. And so I went to school out in Asheville and like, well, in Montreat, which is like 10 minutes outside of Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I went back home. I hated school. It's not for me. It's not for me
Yeah.
at all. Not for me. So like, I hated school, but like I loved everybody that I had met. So I just saw him like put a story on Snapchat, like, yo, I got a fight in a couple weeks. Like everybody should come out. So like I flew out from Delaware to North Carolina to come watch my boy fight. And I made a decision right there. It was like September 2018. I made a decision, like, yo, I'm gonna move out here and I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight with my boy. And like,
Nice.
and I hit Tyler up, I hit Boo Boo up, and was like, yo, like, what's the chances you could find like a place with an extra bedroom? This man hit me back 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, was like, yo, like, let's make this happen. And he fucking put the place in order. I flew out and like I've been living with Boo Boo ever since pretty much. And like that's my guy. That's my guy. Shout out to him. Shout out Boo Boo.
Shout out to Coach Boo Boo. Coach Boo Boo is a legit ass fighter, y'all, too.
Yeah,
So
knockout, true knockouts. Like going
legit.
knock people out. He's wild.
And he's a dope ass coach too.
For sure. For
And he's a
sure.
dope ass coach. So yeah, shout out to Coach Boo Boo. I see you. We see
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Well,
So you've
so
been
yeah,
go
my
ahead.
bad.
No, go ahead.
I bet. So I move out in January 2019 and I just start training like so Boo Boo was in advance. I was not in advance. Like, and if you know in our gym, you gotta like go through fundamentals and you gotta like understand how to throw everything before you can even go to all levels. But I mean, I guess if like your schedule don't work out, you can come to all levels, stuff like that. But where you're throwing advanced combos and then you start sparring in advance. And it's like it's a hard progression. Um so what I was doing is I was coming into the gym early. This is pre-COVID. So like we was able to come in the gym pretty much whenever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go into the gym like an hour early. I'd do a 30-minute warm up, hit the bag for 30 minutes, then start a 90-minute class, and then I'll stay after for another hour. And like I did that for like 4 or 5 months, and then they finally put me in advance and like sparring. Never sparred in my life. Never sparred in my life. I'm getting whipped on like bad, like bad. People like it's huge like Mexican dudes like throwing haymakers. I don't know how to defend. I'm just getting smacked. I'm getting kicked. Like dudes that fought in Thailand, knockouts in Thailand. Like I took beatings, like so many beatings for at least like a year. At least and then COVID hit. And then like it was just at the house for another year. And then once the gym like got back, it was just like, oh, we're gonna be fighting. We're gonna be fighting, like no more. Late 2020, early 2021, like we buckled down. We buckled down. It was like, all right, let's fight. We fought in January, first week of January. Then we took a couple months off. Fought in June. Fought in September. Fought in October. Skipped November. Then fought twice in December. Like it was like, hey, let's hammer the fights out. Let's do it. Let's do it.
And which one of those fights? Which one of those fights did you learn the most from?
Oh, it was my third fight. I fought this dude. What's his name? Takahide Konishi. He's a Japanese dude. He fights out of South Carolina, and I took this fight on 7 days notice. So like I like we train hard in the gym. So like taking late fights is pretty much nothing. Like we're always in fight shape. But so like I'm beating the dude for 2 rounds. I'm up 2 rounds, and then like it's like 30 seconds left, and like I'm like, all right, I'm coasting, you know, faking jabs, throwing whatever, you know, like being lazy, like, oh, I got this in the bag, I'm not worried about it. And he throws a head kick, and like my feet are too close, and like if your feet are too close, kind of like a tightrope, and you can't like base out sideways, you have no balance sideways. So I get hit with the kick, and I go down. And it's like they're like standing 8 count. So standing 8 counts is automatically you take a point docked from your 10-point scale of that round. So automatically I lose. And then with me up 2 rounds, and then him winning a round just made it a draw in the end. And like I was like, all because I got lazy, got cocky last 30 seconds. I think I can do whatever the fuck I want. And then I get hit with a shot that tell me I can't do whatever the fuck I want. Like, and then that was like, be patient, like fight all the way through. And this is another like thing back to track. Like you're supposed to run through the line. And I would do the same thing back then. I'd like play around like last 2 meters, and like maybe it'd be a draw. Maybe I'd win, but like I barely scratch it out. Like, and it's all about times. So like if your times aren't getting better, then like it doesn't matter like ranking wise. So like because I'm playing around at the end of these races, my times aren't as good. I'm not ranked as high. I'm angry about it, and then goes into fighting. Like I'm playing around. I end up a draw. That's easily a win. Like, man, don't be cocky. Fight to the finish, man. Just please.
You had to. That was a kick in the ass, wasn't it? I remember.
It was.
I remember. You were pissed. You were not happy about it.
It feels like a loss. It feels like a loss.
Especially when you know you had it in the bag and you know you fucked up.
Yeah,
and it's like, man,
like my coach was saying, there's nothing like I zigged when I should have zagged. It's a fundamental error. That's like what we teach day one in the gym. Like stand with your feet shoulders width apart. I'm playing around thinking I'm Muhammad Ali doing whatever I want, and then like you learn that lesson. So
yeah,
I learned that one.
What did you use to get over that? Because you fought him again in December of 2011. I mean, 21. You fought him December 11th, 2021. Yes. And you won that fight. So what did you learn from the previous fight that you took into this one?
I learned that one, he didn't like getting hit. He did not like getting hit. Like a couple times in the first fight, I hit him with a couple good shots, and like he backed up, shelled up, and I was like, oh, bet. So I took that into the fight. Staying wide with my feet, so I'm not getting knocked over.
Mm-hmm.
And then front kicks, front kicks are like a great like range finder, or like if you want to keep somebody away from you that may be longer than you. He used a lot of good front kicks to keep me away in the first fight. And the second one, I made sure I defended him a whole lot better, or like stayed too close for him to even throw the strike. So crowded him a lot, and then throwing a lot of strikes, making him tired and like making him like an ugly fight. I don't want him to be comfortable. If he's comfortable, I'm uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much the thing with that fight. Going back, not making the same mistake twice, and then keeping the pressure forward.
Gotcha. So I follow you on Instagram and all that good stuff, and you are big in mindset.
Yes.
And goal writing. Let's talk about that. Like when did you make that shift to say, hey, I want to get real serious about writing my goals down? And what and how did you figure out what goals you wanted? And have you reached any of them yet?
Yeah. So like with goals, it's crazy because with goal setting, you literally do it your whole life. Like they make you do it in school. And then like, because like now I literally have my agenda book right here. You remember agenda books from school?
Yeah.
Like who would have thought I needed an agenda book? They did. They knew, but like, why didn't I know? You know what I mean? Like I was one of those dudes that never wrote in the agenda book. I drew in it. Like, why didn't I, like, things that like are so important to me now, like were things that people told me before. Like, just listen, please listen. But it was after that fight, and in the gym, like things were kind of shifting. Like our head coach Johnny Buck, he was getting more into his mindset stuff, and like he's one of those guys that like one of his things is lead from the front. So anything that like he feels like needs to change, he changes within himself first, and then tells us the positives, the negatives about what he's done and how to do it the right way. So he's like he was doing writing his goals down every morning. He's waking up at like 5 a.m. every single morning to write his goals down and read. And like I'm really into like trying to be a better guy, like trying to be a better man as I get older. Like I'm really into that. So anything that I feel like can push me to that next level of being a better man is like what I'm gonna do. So I started waking up earlier, like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. I try not to wake up any later than 8 a.m. anymore.
Gotcha.
And I was one of those like 2 p.m. Like I wake up 2 p.m. because I was like drinking, partying, like throughout the week too. Like, don't do that first. So, but like seeing the shift in my coach Johnny and my boss Johnny, and then Mike Cowlow, who is another one of my coaches and my sponsor through Life of a Fighter. He does mindset work with me every Sunday morning, with me and a couple guys from the gym. And those people like stepping in and saying like this stuff matters. That like, and it actually taking the advice the first time and not having to do the like trials and tribulations thing, like having to make mistakes and like they just listen the first time.
Yeah.
They say, hey, like mindset's a big part of like of anything, life. Like we're all dealing with stuff. So like if you're not talking about it and like working it out, and it's just sitting in there, it's like weighing you down. So on Sundays, talking about everything that's happened throughout my week, like, yo, like this week work was great, but like I feel like I didn't coach the best class. Like, okay, how do we make sure that we don't feel like that this week?
Yeah.
All right, how can I not feel like that? I can like write out the curriculum this week. All right, so now instead of just like going throughout the week, knowing like, okay, we're doing hooks and uppercuts this week, but like, what drills are we gonna do? So writing that down now. So then by the time that day comes, I'm already ready. Now just on coaching the technique and make sure everybody's getting it, not like worrying about what combos we're throwing. And that stuff helps me throughout the week. So now my mind isn't clouded anymore. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm not thinking about, what am I going to do today? Oh, like, okay, maybe this, maybe that. Oh, like, but what if? So now I know for sure what I'm doing every single day of the week. I'm planning classes now. And then writing out the goals, that started maybe like November, October of last year. And I was just like, what do I want in 6 months? Like, I'm fighting, I'm winning these fights, but like, how do I become a pro? Like, what do I have to do to get there? How do I become like a USA Muay Thai fighter? Mm-hmm. How do I get on that team? And that's like my goals for next year. I wanna be in that red, white, and blue Muay Thai next year. And like now is taking the steps toward that goal. All right, am I in the gym? Am I recovering? Like, am I making sure my body's all right? Like
that's a major part a lot of people forget about, is that recovery. Yes. You can go hard, but your body needs just the same amount of time to recover and get its shit back in line.
If not, sometimes more time.
Yes.
Like, so we're training 7 days a week, but when I was training like hard 7 days a week, I was cramped up. I was like, felt like I was going to pull something. My back hurt all the time. Like, my hands were cramping because I'm always like fist tight. So I started doing like 4 days of recovery, 3 days of training. And now, like, I'm faster than I've ever been. Like, yeah. I'm always all right. Like, after we get off this call and we talk and like we do this podcast, like talking about resiliency, I'm about to sit on my yoga mat. I'm about to like do some stretches. I'm about to foam roll out, get some Thai oil, Tiger Balm. Like, I'm about to really like get into it. You know what I mean? Making sure that I'm feeling good for the next week. So like, I'll recover on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday night. You know what I mean? It's like taking all that time. And if I feel like my body isn't like up to the task, I'm not training that day. Like,
listening to your body. Oh my gosh. That's something, again, a lot of people, we don't do. And that goes for like, if you're starting to feel sick, if you got a headache, and listen to your body, because your body that's your warning signs that, hey, something's going on. Your check engine light is on. You need to check out what's wrong.
And like, you don't got to fight through the pain. You really don't. You can just like relax. Mm-hmm. If your body hurts, you don't have to continue. And I highly recommend you don't. Like, honestly,
that's a surefire way to get hurt.
Yes. If you're already hurting and you're gonna like, it's not gonna get better by you doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? And you have to like change something.
Absolutely.
And that's about life too. That's a real life thing. Like, if something ain't going your way, like, you gotta go the other way. You know
exactly.
What I mean? Something happen.
Exactly. You have your destination in mind, but the course that you thought you were going to take, that might not be the course. So now you got to change courses, reassess, readjust, and then move forward accordingly.
Yeah, like, growth is linear. Like, it's not straight. It's peaks and valleys, but constantly getting close to the goal.
Exactly. All right, so we're talking about constantly getting. Hey, y'all. Listen, it is time for some action. If you are enjoying the content that you've been listening to, I need you to rate and review. That's it. That's all. Make sure you go to wherever you're listening to this podcast and rate and review it for us. We appreciate you so much. Let's get back to some resilience. Close to the goal, right? So December 18th.
December 18th.
2021. You fought Devin Wynn for the Fight For It title. The commentator, right? I watched the video. The commentator was very, very anti-Duece Almighty. It seemed like he was very like not with what you were bringing to the table. Like, he said something in the matter of, you know, Duece was out here watching what happened to his other fighters, and now he absorbed it, and what he should have been doing was being in the back and doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
When after the fight that you won, right?
Yeah.
How, when you heard that, how did that make you feel?
Yo, it's crazy because that's the first time like I felt like I ever like been hated on. Like, and it's weird because like he's going off of like how he trains his dudes, and I guess Devin must have beat one of his dudes up. So he thinking if his guys are like the best in the world, then like Devin must really be the best in the world. But like sometimes it's just not that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so I had to like people were telling me after the fight, like, yo, like this guy's talking all this trash. I'm like, bro, like, what are you talking about? So like I go back and I'm watching the fight. I'm like, oh, like he's really like he shouldn't be supporting his team. He should be in the back, like warming up. The first thing with that is it's nerve-wracking in the locker room. Every like you people getting beat up, not like walking in, got knocked out, like got ice packs on their face, they walking in. Another dude nervous, he might be like puking in the side. Like, I've witnessed the dude pass out right before his fight. Like
Wow.
I'm definitely not trying to be in a locker room. That's the last thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be out there with like the people that I know, hanging out like in the bleachers with my teammates or cornering my friends. Like I'd rather be with my friends walking out and like supporting my friends at the side of the ring than like in the back worried about my fight. Like
Exactly.
my fight's gonna
Okay.
happen. Like there's nothing that I can do that day that's gonna make me necessarily win or lose watching or not watching that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes with the mindset stuff. I mean, if you have that, like, if you're not focused on your mindset and your mentality, then other people's like fights can like rub off on you. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
But like some people are like that, or some people are like that. Yeah, some people are like that, and that if they see like their friend like lose, and like, it may like get on to them, but like it's not about that because for us it's about being a team. It's not necessarily about if he wins or loses. Like I'm supporting my homie. Like that's the dude that like I've trained this whole fight camp with. Like I've seen that man probably cry. I've seen him drop some people with some body shots. I've seen him like really like want this.
Yeah.
So I need to be there supporting my friend. You know what I mean? It's not about like, I need to be focused and like in this killer mindset. Like when I step in there, it's nothing you can do about what's about to happen to you. It's inevitable.
I noticed once you bounce off that last rope,
yeah,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
It is. Like all the smiles go out the way. Like
Mm-hmm.
I love like being a happy dude. I love like being with my friends. I love like supporting my team. But like when the cage doors shut, or like when the ref said like, all right, touch gloves, like it's nothing you can do from there. Like like the work has already been put in. And I mean this is a quote that Isaac, one of the guys I train with, and he always says, man, what does he say? He says, fuck. You've predetermined, like the work you have put in is already predetermined the result.
I like it.
The work you have put in is already predetermined the result. So it's not like anything I do right now is going to change it for you. Like if you didn't run those miles, like if you didn't run those miles that fast, if you didn't like go do an hour workout, 2-hour workout after that run, and then go like take a hot bath and recover after that, like every single day, and then go train again. Like if you haven't been doing that work, nothing's going to save you when you step in there.
Yeah.
Like the work you've put in has predetermined what's about to happen to you. So like me walking out with my teammates don't mean nothing to the fight. Like me supporting my homies is not going to do anything for when I step in there. It's nothing you can do. Like you have to put the hours in, or you have, and I've put way more hours in. Way more.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. It was just real. I was like, damn, I said, dude's really got a hater. Like,
yeah.
He was really like, even at the end when they announced like, you know, your corner one or whatever, he's just like still very like, well, there was a technical foul that didn't get called and all this other stuff, instead of like, oh, good fight, or congratulating you, or saying something up other than like being super fucking negative.
Yeah. And I actually I found him and DM'd him after that. I was like, bro, like I just want my respect. Like I train hard. Like I go in there, I fight from bell to bell. I put on a show, I entertain, and like you upset because like this dude beat up one of your guys, and like you can't get over the fact that like he not the end all be all. Like, and the thing is the dude Devin, he only had one kickboxing fight. He's like 10 and he has like 10 or 11 fights in MMA. But this not MMA. Like you're not just going like you can't take me down because your hands aren't sufficient.
Yeah.
Like if your hands aren't sufficient, it's gonna get found out. Like you got 5 rounds. Like people were acting like that was like a 3-round fight. That was a 5-round fight. Like the doctor did not allow him to walk on to the 4th round. Like the doctor stopped the fight. Like, and then for him to be like, oh, it's because of the legal knee. Like, how is he gonna go pro and then like deal with legal knees? Like, what about that? Like, and it's not even. I'm really not worried about it because like once you fight him, you beat him or like whatever happened. If you want that fight back, you can have it. He can always come back and fight me again, like a more fair fight. And what we're talking about is like in like the first round of the fight. Me and this dude Devin, like he like kneels down and I knee him. I go for a body knee. He knees into the knee with his head, and I hit him in the eye. And I apologize. It wasn't on purpose. But like the whole rest of the fight, the guy is just like, oh, it's the illegal knee that's making him not win the fight. Like it's not the illegal knee. Like it just wasn't the gym enough. Like he didn't prepare for this enough.
He didn't outwork you.
Yeah.
He didn't outwork you, and that's what a lot of people were seeing as they were watching the fight. Like he did not outwork you, he did not outtrain you, and he damn sure did not outfight you.
No.
That doesn't win fights.
No,
that doesn't
win fights.
Yeah.
Girl, and then at the end of the day, it's a fight. Like people gonna get bumps and bruises. It's a fight. One of my coaches, Mike Callow, he always talks about how like swimmers swim. Like everybody gets wet when you swim. Like it's just a part of swimming. Like even Michael Phelps, the greatest of all time. Like even Michael Phelps got wet. Like in fighting, you're going to get fucking hit. That's the nature of the sport.
Yes.
Like if you get hit and like you have a bump or a bruise, that's not the reason that you lost the fight. Like you have to find another way to win.
Yep, I agree.
Like even Michael Phelps got wet. Like everybody gets hit. And
if you're not blocking, then you definitely gonna get hit. That's one of the first things we learned was keep your hands up. I'm going to tag you.
Yes.
If your hands are not up,
yes,
you better be guarding your face.
I'm gonna actually hit you.
Like literally, like listeners, when he says I'm gonna actually hit you, like he is telling. This was my coach. All right, I don't know if y'all understand that, but Duece was my coach for a while. And when I say like he was going to walk past and tag you, he walked past and tagged you.
Yes, I'm gonna hit you. You like, can't learn something if you don't learn it.
Exactly. And guess what? Guess whose hands was up? Come on. you keep your hands up.
Yeah, you keep your hands
up. You know, so yeah. We talked about your failures. We'll talk about some of your successes. Where Duece, where are you going in the future? What's aside from the Olympics? Because I know that's one of your main goals.
I want to at least like be that's one of my, not even necessarily Olympics, but I do want to compete for the national team. They compete like I think every year, but I do want to be on one of these national teams for like kickboxing or Muay Thai or MMA, something like a combat. Like that's always been one of my goals. I ran track. Like you always have that vision of like having the flag across your back, like being, wearing those colors. So of course, I definitely want to do that.
Gotcha.
That's one of my goals. And if like it's not like if I can't make it happen, then like it'll be fine. I'll figure out another way. Like I'll play ping pong or something.
Now, quick question for you, right? So, are you still in the mindset now when you did still?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow, thank you.
Come on.
That's wild. Yeah. I used to want that flag on my back. Now I want it in black. Yeah, I still do. I still
Nah.
do. Yo, that's crazy.
Come on, I told you. This is what I do. I love interviewing people. I love to, and when you interview people, you have to, you got to do research. If you're not doing research, you just coming in here blind, then you're asking generic ass questions, and it's gonna, you getting generic ass answers.
Yo, like, you just made my day.
Like I truly, like, we want to know, like, crazy. That's dope, yeah. Yes, you used to want the flag on your back. Now you want it in black.
I still do. Truth. Wow. I would have met. Wow, that is crazy. Thank you.
Of course, Duece, where can we how can we support you? Where can we find you on social media, follow you, and all that good stuff?
Really, like I'm most active on Instagram at Duece Almighty, DUECEALMTY, or just type in Duece Almighty outright, and it'll pop up, I'm sure. That's on Instagram. That's pretty much it. And then also, like, I'm streaming on Amazon. So you can catch me on Amazon streaming Duece Almighty Carter. I'm gonna do some recovery. I haven't really been streaming recently. I'm like in between a move, but in the next, like within the next month, I'll be streaming every Sunday, doing some recovery stuff. You can just recover with a fighter. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like rolling out my shin, be going through like a lot of dynamic stretches, some static stretches, some yoga posing. So if you want to do some recovery on Sundays, you can see me on some Amazon streaming for sure.
Perfect. Do you have anything else that you want to share with the listeners?
Listen, yeah, go on my Instagram bio, click my SoundCloud, or just type in Duece Almighty in like wherever you listen to music. And it's a good song. That's a really good song. But other than that, just keep pushing forward, man. Like the goals, like they get closer. It might like not seem like it, but like just keep pushing. Take the step every single day to get to where you want to be, and like one day you'll be there. Like don't stop. Please don't stop. Like that's really it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I got one more question for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Duece, what does resilience mean to you?
Resilience means, it really just means to not stop. Just don't stop. Like keep going, regardless of what's happening. Keep going. Like life knocks you down, you get back up, you keep working toward the goal. And that's it. Just work toward the goal.
Work towards the goal. Working towards the goal is resilience in action.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Well, Duece, thank you so much.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you for hanging out. Like we talked about gratitude earlier. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you do know that.
No, I do. And I appreciate you too. Like I'm thank you for allowing me to get on here and like talk with you.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to hit this. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Resilience in Action with Erin Brown. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe. And I want you to remember one thing: resilience in action will always lead to a greater human experience.